Hey guys, I'm back. So the Crackden is back to the nice weather form, and I'm tackling the honed brake booster delete kit for the Integra. Well, it wasn't fun.
God damn it.
I didn't get any clips of me doing it mid-process because it was just all tight underneath the footwell. So I'm gonna just go over it again because I didn't find any video evidence of anyone else doing it. I loosened the dash. I don't think you need to do it, but I thought I needed to at the time. That's a lot easier to find how to take the dash out, so I'm not gonna go over that. So I just unbolted it, and it's loose right now, but I kind of put it back in place. I undid all that because I thought I was gonna take it out. You have to take out the brake pedal. Obviously, you see it's missing. To drill a new hole that changes the it changes the mounting point, so you have more leverage. And to do that, you have there's a bolt that mounts the brake pedal, but it runs into that column right there. So to get the brake pedal out, you have to remove the brake pedal, or the pedal assembly, the whole assembly. So to do that, lower the steering column. So there's all the bracketry for that. 4 bolts, you can kind of see that one right there for the brake booster, or where it would be. They're nuts. There's one more nut over there closer to the gas pedal, and then there's one that's impossible to reach, well, almost impossible to reach there. Slit right there, bolt that goes in there. And to get to the bolt, you have to remove the HVAC pipe that goes right along here, right there. And how I did that was bending it and hoping that it wouldn't break. I took out this side first, and I kind of wiggled it down, and I got it out, and so I was able to get that bolt. So it's a bolt and 6 nuts, and then you have to disconnect the throttle cable and the brake. Take out this John, obviously take out the brake pedal. Here's the brake pedal. So here's old hole and new drilled hole with a 5/16 drill bit, I believe. So that changes the amount of leverage you have. So they have the guide with the kit. You just put the bolt in like that, and it shows you where to drill. So yeah, I couldn't find anywhere. I looked it up, like how to take the brake pedal out, because when you look up in there, it's this bolt that's holding in the brake pedal, and it goes up against that column. So you need to remove the entire pedal assembly, which is super annoying. And I was putting it off for a long time because I didn't want to do it, but it was the next step. Alright, so got the pedal assembly in, and I was putting some stuff together. When I put the assembly, or when I put the pedal back in and then put the assembly back in, I forgot to put the clasp back in, which meant I had to Dremel out that tiny hole so I could fit the peg right here in, because since it originally that was down here, so it wasn't a problem to get it in and out, but since I moved it up for the different leverage point, then that little support is in the way. So I had to Dremel it out, got it in, and then now the return spring for the brake is kind of pushing on this, but that shouldn't really be too much of a problem. Most of this together, I just don't have the steering column all put back up yet, because the rod comes back up through here, and then I have the master cylinder. I think it's from a 96 Civic is the one that works with the size brakes I have. And so when I put it on like that, it's like very close to fitting, but as you can see, it's hitting on the supercharger right there. So I'm gonna try and figure out something for that, but until then, I don't want to start making the brake lines until I know I can get this to fit, and I don't want to put the steering column back up until I know everything with the brakes is okay. So I'm taking a break from that, and I'm gonna get the radiator in here. Alright, so we got radiator back in, radiator hoses back on, and then I got that coolant hose and the other coolant hose back there for the inlets and outlets for the idle air control valve, because I kept that. So hypothetically, should be a sealed coolant system so it doesn't overheat when I drive it tomorrow. So that's one more thing done, I guess. Hello. So now that I'm finally back in the mood to work on this thing again, I'm gonna see if I can tackle the electrical system. As you see, we got a whole bunch of crinkly spaghetti here, and I've also deleted a couple of the systems. So I know there's gonna be some stuff that I'm gonna need to cut. So for that, I'm gonna need to find the ancient text. So I'll be back when I get that. Alright, let's see what we got here. What the hell? Alright, so now that I got that, let's work on getting the spaghetti figured out. It would have been really nice if I label all this shit when I took it apart. Magic! Oh, was running away! Oh! I wish. Please, once you tell me how literally have so much flow. The drop, no amperage. Ooh, rusty. Ooh. Shit's tight. God damn. I don't imagine that'll cause a few issues or something. Hey. God damn. Cordy's ready. Put in the work, goddamn. Goddamn, still loose. What the hell? I'm gonna do something. Oh, it's finally tight. Huh, there you go. This place is magnificent. Over here. I'm gonna get it in, goddamn it. Okay, so starter hooked up. If it didn't start last year, it's probably not gonna start this year. Start by itself. Got that bolted on. Over here, the O2 sensor, which is eventually gonna get replaced by a wideband sensor soon. Plugged in. Me from a year ago forgot to tell me now that I broke this off, so I'm gonna have to solder on a new one, which is kind of booty cheeks. That plugged in for the throttle position sensor. Don't quote me, I'm not a mechanic. Got the injector harness where it's supposed to be when my sexy new injectors come in. And then that plug used to be for the brake booster, which is vacated the premises. And now I'll go from under the car and get the plugs from under. Okay, so underneath the car now, there's the alternator and there's some plugs over there. I have these plugs right here, but as you see up there, I had to snip the knock sensor because I couldn't get it off. So I'm gonna try and get that off now and then solder it later. But I also don't want to do any stuff over here yet because the bracket that holds an alternator in place for the supercharger kit, I need to drill a new hole for it because it's technically in a new spot than where it was originally. So once I get that all solid mounted where it's supposed to be, then I'll plug everything in down here. So yeah, that's gonna be all for tonight. Hope you enjoyed and see you later.
And the door breaks and we're stuck. Sorry.
Don't redo that.
Yeah, let's redo that.